We are pleased to bring you today's edition of the Government News Brief. It is Friday, July 8, 2016. Welcome. In the news, government takes full responsibility for the loss of lives of the two boys at the drop-in center, agriculture stakeholders and Guyana's economy to benefit from Guyana-Belize trade agreement, regional security to be tightened, and enforcement of the Consumer Affairs Act of 2011 can see defaulting businesses facing penalties. Stay tuned. I am Azim Khan with the details. Thank you for staying with us. Director of the Child Care and Protection Agency, Anne Green, says the Ministry of Social Protection takes full responsibility for last evening's fire at the drop-in center, which resulted in the death of two boys aged 2 and 6.
The Ministry of Social Protection takes full responsibility for this incident and will bear the full cost of the funeral arrangements. In the long term, the Child Care and Protection Agency will work with this family to ensure the other 3 siblings and their ailing mother receive all the support and help they need.
The 2 boys, along with 3 other siblings, were taken into care on July 6 by the Child Care and Protection Agency, pending an investigation of alleged neglect and abuse. The Guyana Fire Service is currently conducting investigations to determine the cause of the fire, which destroyed the upper flat of the Hatfield Street facility, which housed 31 children. New areas of funding and markets for local products are now possible with the signing of the Guyana-Belize trade agreement. Paul McAdam has the details.
The agreement between Guyana and Belize was formally signed on July 6 at the Pegasus Hotel in Georgetown. The Foreign Affairs Ministers of Guyana and Belize inked the wide-ranging agreement on trade, investment, and other areas. The Memorandum of Cooperation will seek to increase joint initiatives from the private sector of both countries. The agreement does not specify quotas on imports or exports, neither does it put limitations on products that can be traded between the two countries. Belizean Foreign Affairs Minister Wilfred Errington.
This agreement will allow us to enter into formal agreement with respect to trade and investment, and we will cooperate in many areas including trade, education, agriculture, politics. We will consult. I get a lot of consultation from your Deputy Prime Minister, who is a consummate politician, very knowledgeable, very informed, and very helpful to us. We also share, unfortunately, the same border problems, and we collaborate. Like Guyana, our territory is coveted by Guatemala.
For local producers and manufacturers, the agreement will offer financing for the businesses, especially for joint programs. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Carl Greenidge.
The Article 1 deals with the objectives, and as he indicated, it is supposed to cover cooperation in the area of trade, investment, tourism, energy, marine affairs, education, agriculture, sports, security, youth, and the like. So it's pretty wide-ranging, and it enters, or it can allow us, it permits us to add areas. So if we want to widen the scope of cooperation beyond what is set out here, it can be done reasonably easily.
Minister Greenidge said that this agreement will also allow Ghana to exploit synergies between the two countries, especially with the exchange of expertise, where he said, quote, 2 or 3 experts or institutions with experience can come together to fashion or build an idea and implement it. Guyanese professionals are making their mark in the Central American nation. The Belizean Foreign Affairs Minister said that his country's chief judge, Kenneth Benjamin, is a Guyanese. He noted too that his 2 daughters were educated in Guyana and successfully pursuing their individual careers overseas. Errington added that he would like to see Guyanese take advantage of the educational opportunities that will become available through the agreement. Ghana stands to benefit significantly from Belize's experience in natural resources and maritime zone knowledge. The agreement also provides opportunities for exploration of both nations' tourism sector and cooperation between the two in the areas of energy, marine affairs, sports, and national security. Paul McAdam, Government News Brief.
Caricom heads of governments have agreed to enhance cooperation and collaboration of regional enforcement authorities. Glendon Greenwich reports.
The move by Caricom heads to have an arrest warrant treaty before the end of 2016 is geared towards improving regional security.
Significantly, we agreed that urgent steps should be taken for completion of a number of critical regional security agreements. We have placed as a priority on the completion of Caricom Arrest Warrant Treaty. This is a matter that we've been discussing for some time now, and I believe heads are resolved to having this particular agreement entered into before the end of 2016.
Such a regional treaty will enhance law enforcement's ability to address cross-border crimes. For example, if someone commits a crime in Jamaica then migrates to Guyana, Guyanese authorities can arrest that individual and repatriate him or her to Jamaica.
The arrest warrant treaty is a critical aspect of it. The mutual legal assistance agreement between and among member states of the Caribbean community, the sharing of intelligence, the training of personnel, the joint training of personnel, all of these elements, we believe, will certainly enhance the collaboration and cooperation among law enforcement entities and ensuring that we can enhance the security of our region.
Suriname and Haiti, having different legal regimes, have to take additional measures to ensure the treaty takes effect.
In respect to Suriname, as we understand it, there is a particular challenge in respect to its constitution. But the way we understand it is that if a Surinamese were to commit a crime in Jamaica and flee to Suriname, then he could be prosecuted for that crime in Jamaica in Suriname. So, but what we have asked legal advisors to do is to engage the Surinamese authorities to better appreciate the constitutional provisions or the limitations of the Constitution in respect to Suriname's ability to engage in the treaty.
With this government news brief, I am Glendon Greenwich.
The National Youth Policy creates a framework in which young people's development is a priority. Details in this report.
Presidential Advisor on Youth Empowerment Aubrey Norton says that the National Youth Policy is structured in a way that young people are seen as tools for development.
The document treats young people as a human resource rather than a problem. A lot of talks about youth tend to deal with youth as if young people are a problem. This particular document sees young people as a human resource to be developed.
The Presidential Advisor explains that youth development is a process that starts in early childhood. Additionally, Norton points out that youths are most vulnerable between the ages of 8 and 14. Everyone, he says, has a role to play in youth development, which includes the family.
Young people are very vulnerable between the ages of 8 and 14. And if we leave them just like that, we will end up having to rectify the problems. So it also attempts to address the vulnerabilities and the risks that young people experience between the age of 8 to 14, with the aim of ensuring that by the time they get to 14, they are well prepared rather than dealing with all the peer pressures and then trying to rectify it when they're 15, 16, heading to 35.
The policy provides 5 strategic areas. These are youth identity and empowerment, youth employment and entrepreneurship, education and market-driven skills development, and youth leadership, participation and representation. The National Youth Policy was presented to the National Assembly by Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicolette Henry, on June 30, 2016. The policy is expected to be debated in the National Assembly at a subsequent sitting. Isaiah Braffett for the Government News Brief.
The Dialysis Center at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation is now equipped to provide better care to patients. Details in this report.
The nephrology department of the GPHC received several new pieces of equipment. Head of the department, Dr. Kishore Prasad, explains how this equipment will boost services.
We have expanded the center, and with the contribution of these dialysis machines, we will now be able to effectively dialyze all patients admitted to the Georgetown Hospital. And we are also, what you should also know is that we have approximately 110 patients out there that is requiring constant hemodialysis on a daily basis.
Dr. Prasad says that although the center has seen new additions, there is no need for more staff. The nephrology department of the Kidney Dialysis Center had been in operation for over 2 years and has on its roster 2 specialist surgeons, 3 general practitioners, and 8 nurses.
We are hoping with this expansion that the administration will see it fit and necessary to expand our nurses service. And if we will be offering outpatient hemodialysis, we are hoping that the nursing administration will work swiftly to give us more nursing staff to enhance this process.
The Kidney Dialysis Center will begin treating outpatients who require 3 to 4 sessions of dialysis on a weekly basis, beginning at the end of July. This will help the department to effectively treat the growing number of patients diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease and in need of treatment. Kidaki Amsterdam for Government News Brief.
Businesses will face the law if they are found to be in breach of the Consumer Affairs Act of 2011. Find out how in this report.
The Consumer Affairs Unit of the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, CCAC, is stressing the need for full compliance by businesses that are involved in unfair trade practices. Head of the Consumer Affairs Unit, Harun Khan, explains.
If the product is deemed defective, there are 3 ways of handling it. Either the business is asked. Firstly, the business is asked to either repair or replace the product. If they can't repair it, if they can't replace it, they're asked to provide a complete refund to the consumer. Okay? Because failure to adhere to the Act, there are penalties.
The Consumer Affairs Act of 2011 indicates that registered businesses have a right to provide the necessary information that will help a consumer make the right decision when buying products or services. The Act promotes and protects consumers' interests in relation to the supply of goods and services. Khan outlines the objectives of the unit.
The other facet of the unit is that we don't only enforce the Act in terms of contraventions that transpire against the consumer, but we also promote consumer and business activities. The objective is to bring businesses into compliance with the Act.
The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission will venture into various areas across the country to educate citizens on their rights as a consumer. Director of the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, Dawn Holder Alert, explains.
Well, consumer awareness is the biggest thing we can do. An educated consumer is a smart consumer. We plan to do outreaches in the future out of Georgetown, because everything seems to be so Georgetown centered. We hope to set up in the future help desk in the some of the other areas in Guyana.
Enterprises should ensure that durable goods and services are continually updated, renewed, and restocked so as to provide a more efficient item to consumers. The CCAC has an estimated success rate of 78% response to reported cases, especially in relation to the sale of defective items. The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission is based at the National Exhibition Center, Sophia Complex. For this Government News Brief, I am Namila Baines-Rowe.
That concludes today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories are on GINA's website. We encourage you to stay updated and subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. All government and other information can be had from GINA. Do join us again on Monday when we bring you another edition of the Government News Brief. Until then, have a safe weekend. Thank you for watching.